Welcome to Impact Wrestling, a show that has implications for rebellion, but I don't know about hardcore justice. I'm thinking about hardcore justice because they're pushing it for Tommy. And I don't know if this is going to give anything to rebellion. I doubt it. But I'm hoping it will be something, particularly that this is going to be better than WWE. Let's be honest here. You're going to see WrestleMania, and the card sucks. So I'm not even saying Rebellion is going to be better than WrestleMania, but at least you will be getting some better content than what you would get in WrestleMania. Because at least some of the feud, some have something in it. I know a lot of people not going to be happy about this match because I wasn't happy. Don't like non-title matches. I hate them. But if I look at the match itself, it was good. But before I get to that, here's a new part of my show. Bad camera angles. You're going to get pissed at me. Like I was pissed. You're going to deal with, remember, I am a wrestling reviewer. I got to see what's going on in the ring. If I can't see what's going on in the ring, I get pissed. Pissed. That's the best way to say it when I botch. You probably saw some of the images that have been flashing by. This is what's going to happen. If I got to be tortured to see this show where the majority of the shots had some really bad camera work, you're going to see it too. So that should do it. What do we get with Jazz? Jazz gave us a good work. No one ever said that Jazz wasn't good in the ring. No one. She's still great when it comes to doing short burst work. And it shows here. Doesn't matter how she lost, which she did lose because Susan hit her in the head with a shoe. Of course she did. She wanted to be protected. But Perazo won. But now what does this actually mean? Perazo has no competition. This is what you get. It's so little competition because she's gone through everyone. She's gone through the entire roster. She needs new competition. Bring in indie wrestlers. At least that'll supplement. Now, this also goes into what happened later in the night when it came to two that make no sense. Why are they still pushing Havea having a possible problem with Havoc? Why? They didn't pull the trigger weeks ago, which they should have. You got them getting possibly another chance next week. No, they're getting another chance next week. Non-title match. No, is it a non-title match? I can't even remember. I don't even remember. Because it frustrates me to see again you're putting Havea in a situation where she looks like she's going to go up against Havoc. You had Tennille Dashwood trying to bring something up. Then giving them again a chance at Fire and Flavor. If they win, they get a shot at those titles again. Why? Why? Bring in more women to temporarily boost and reboost your divisions. You can't tell me they can't bring in some indie wrestlers, pay them a little bit of money, just to be on the show for 10 minutes. They gotta do something for their tapings. And I know these tapings are weeks or at least a month old if anyone brings it up. Because they didn't expect that these storylines were going to be 100% back. But as I said to one of my subscribers, because he tried to defend Back in Black NWA, it makes no freaking difference if their roster has been cut by 2/3 in NWA. You are putting out a product where $19.99 must be paid to see it. So with Impact Wrestling, who's also on Fightful and who's also on Access TV, people are paying good money to see their shit. And I still love Impact. As I said in my comments, I love NWA, but I haven't seen the damn product for a year. I didn't watch UWN, but maybe once or twice. And I couldn't get into it because it was about another company, which was, Wrestling of Hollywood. Why am I going to care more about another company when I should care about NWA? I want to do reviews of NWA. Why am I going to do reviews of UWN and NWA? Yes, United Wrestling, I think Wrestling of Hollywood wasn't bad, but this is not about that. That's about NWA. So I forgot everything, especially now that Joseph Hudson has passed away. Now, I did that on purpose, guys. I could not bring myself to talk that much about Hudson because my depression will get me. But I am mentioning it here because I know I didn't say anything in my review about him, particularly Aaron Stevens dedicating that match to him. And they dedicated to that. I had to mention it even though no one said anything. It's just, that's how I am. But when it comes to Impact, what you saw earlier, you're going to see it. Because they're putting out a product people got to pay. Impact Plus and their pay-per-views. They can't get the camera work right. That's what you get. Now, let's move on. Twitch stream wasn't very good because it was at, what was it? 3748 and went up to 5200 to 5300 and dropped like a stone down to 4730. What is it? 4731. It's not consistent. Now, it doesn't mean people 100% bored of it, but I don't know what it is. And I do believe it is the camera work. That's what I believe. I don't know about Twitter because I'm not on Twitter. Maybe the people there notice just like me that the wrestling is good. The storylines are not too great, but they're not bad. They're better than WWE. But how am I going to watch the show if the majority of the time I'm looking at a guy's butt or chest, or I can't even see what's in the ring? You guys tell me below how you feel. Now, we had AC Romero versus Trey. And this is all due to the fact of Sami Callihan getting into the headspace of a... Let me put it to you like this. The story of Sami and Trey. I knew they're going to go there. I knew Trey is going to eventually be the protege of Sami. And I'm not interested. Not because Trey isn't doing it well, because he is. He's showing heavy amounts of aggression. Because when you see this match, it was highly aggressive. You see AC Romero in his size is a very agile man. If the camera work wasn't so bad, you would have seen AC Romero manage to jump and roll himself and trip up Trey so quickly, you would say, God damn, that man can do it good. But you couldn't see it because the camera work was so bad. I'm sorry. It was. But after it was all over, Trey wins. You got both Triple XL beating up on him. You got Sami coming out and saving him. Not Sam, Sami. So you can see where they're going with this. And I still say this again. Sami Callihan is one of the staples that was from last year and the year before and the year before that. And at this moment, he's basically working with Trey. Instead of being in the main title scene or in the X Division title scene where you can try to build a story there. Because there is no story. TJ Perkins versus an Ace Austin. Great match. Again, they know how to put good matches on. Couldn't see everything due to the fact of the camera, but it was still great work. DQ'd because a Madman Fulton could not stand that his boy was losing. But what is the story? There isn't one. There's no story. Why won't they give the X Division a story? And if anybody says, well, come on, man, you can't just give them a story. Oh, yes, you can. Because guess what? They used to do that in Impact Wrestling. They used to do it in TNA, where they had stories for the X Division, stories for whenever they used the TV title, whenever they did have it, or the Impact Grand Championship, and the World title. They used to do stories. Stories. So don't tell me they can't do multiple stories on their damn show, because they used to. Because the writing team sucks a bit. Now, Rhino was presented to us. Finally, we get to see why Rhino is what he is. And Violence by Design, when it comes to EY, is just awesome. He knows how to put them over. He knows how to make the cancer or the disease of professional wrestling become purified. And you see the same thing that happened to a Diener happens to a Rhino. Where are they going? Don't know. How far they're going to push Violent by Design. They need to push them because they need to do something. Maybe if they book it right, and Tony Khan, who did have a cameo there again, and his ads, I'm not going to mention it much other than that, would say, okay, I want to try something new. I'm going to bring in Violence by Design and let them cause trouble on my show so we can cross over. Does that mean it's going to happen? Probably not. Because we haven't seen anything more than the Good Brothers on AEW Dynamite. Either because Tony can't get it done because TNT won't let it, or they have not been able to figure out what they want to do between the two companies. They can't agree. There you go. Let's see here. Raju. They have a advertisement for the Swinger House. You see everyone who loves Swingers, not Swinger House, but pretty much it's Swingers House because it's Swingers Palace. And you see Alicia with a cigarette in her hand, saying she's happy to be there, even if I don't have money. You see Bravo having this moment. Then you see Falaba after that's over because he's now broke and now he's living at the venue because Raju, who's now making some money from his merch, is messing with Falaba because he's saying you got an addiction problem of gambling, you stupid, and then they have their match. Raju wins. Doesn't mean it's bad, but where are they going with Falaba? What are they doing? What are they doing with Swingers Palace? Some people are going to like this. Some people definitely are not going to like this. But it is what it is. It is entertainment. You got to break up the monopoly of just having match, then a story. Match, that's if you have a story. And match, you got to break it up with something. Comic relief is cool. You now have the Kenny Omega and the Rich Swann their story, their promos. Whose was better? Was it Rich or was it Kenny with Don Callis? It's obvious it was Kenny with Don Callis. I'm not against Rich. Love me to Rich. Love me to Rich. He cut a great promo saying, I'm not letting anybody get in my head. You tried to get in my head last week. You tried to get in my head now. You can't do it, baby. I am the Impact Unified Champion. You can't get in my head. And I'm not worried about the one-winged angel because I got my own contingency plans set up. I got a couple of tricks. Then you got Don. Then you got Kenny. Who is the better talker between the two? It is Don. Obviously. Kenny's not a bad talker, but he's no match for Don. And they make it very clear they're trying to put over the story of Kenny and the Invisible Hand getting whatever they want, which is every title of Impact, of AEW, and they want to do Kanabuchi in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh, they still have the Omega title. We have not seen the Omega title defended yet. Why can't we? When are they going to defend the Omega title on AEW? Let's say they can't defend on AEW, put it on Impact. Let him come out and say, you know what, Impact Wrestling, I'm going to give you a little gift. I'm going to let you see me wrestle and defend my Omega Championship. I think Conan would understand that his Omega Championship could be defended in a place that he used to work at, which is Impact Wrestling. They did it once, or was it twice, on AEW. Do it on Impact. If you don't want to defend the title now on AEW, put it on Impact. And if Kenny wants to drop that title, put it on Impact. Let something different happen. Let AAA be recognized on Impact because they used to be there. Okay, Storm, 999th match, already done. He's done almost 1,000 matches, so next week we're going to have Storm versus Eli for his 1,000 match. And it's called the 1,000 match. What? Will there be a stipulation? I hope there is, because why would you make a milestone of James Storm having his 1,000th match on Impact Wrestling. Not the 1,000th match in existence, but on Impact. Since the time he came in, he's done 1,000 matches for the company. Give him a freaking stipulation with Eli. I would rather see it on either Impact Plus to make it special or Rebellion. Drag it out and put it on Rebellion. That's what I want to see. Reward the man for coming back to your company and is willing to do now 1,000th match. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Finally, and if I'm forgetting something, which I probably am, I'm sorry. We got Eddie Edwards versus Carl Anderson. The first time either one of them ever faced each other in Impact or possibly ever in period. Both of them have gone to Japan. One was in New Japan Pro Wrestling. One was in Pro Wrestling Noah. One came out in 2005. One came out in 2008. About 3 years difference. So they've never faced each other. This was different, since particularly that FinJuice is in New Japan Pro Wrestling and they are defending titles right now over there, or at least presenting them. They got to give Carl Anderson and Luke something to do. So this was the match for Carl. Was it a good match? When you could see it, it wasn't bad. And it was similar to what happened to Madman Fulton, but no DQ. I'll give it to you like this. This show, closing with that, I don't agree with. Because if you're going to be honest, you don't have the world title being put in that position. You don't have the AEW champion being put at the end of the show either, when probably they should have been. It's not great to have promos at the end of the show, I know. But we are talking about the world champion, well, world unified champion, Rick Swann, not closing the show. You got no Kenny Omega and Don Callis closing the show. You didn't have the X Division close the show. You didn't have Dana Perazo with Jazz close the show. You had Carl Anderson and Eddie Edwards with no stipulation, no titles, nothing, closing the show. I don't agree with the ending, and I think that might be what I'm going to use for the title of this video. Look, guys, I still love me Impact. I still believe it's better than WWE hands down, because the writing for WWE sucks, except for Roman, except for what's going on with Apollo Crews and Biggie Langston. That's it. Everything else on WWE sucks right now. Even my Naomi. My baby, I wish she'd leave there and go either to AEW or Impact Wrestling. She will kill it there. She's got the personality. She's got the skill. She's got the beauty. She can talk. The girl would get it done. But she's going to stay with a man in the same company that she still has who knows how long of a contract. I don't care. I'm still reviewing it, but I don't care. But still, let's be honest here. Impact needs more. They need better camera work, and they need to work more on their... I've been saying it for more than 2 years. The writing sucks. Now I have to... And this gets me upset. I've been saying for more than 2 years, I'm sure you know this, before the transition from the old guard to the new guard, writing sucks. I've said it. Now I gotta add in, writing sucks, camera work sucks. That makes me angry. But I do this because I love the company. As I love wrestling, but I love the company. I know in its own right it deserves to be respected. And WWE thinks it's a joke. And it used to be the second biggest company in the world of America. Well, I know that kind of sounds in the world. Internationally, is one of the good, strong companies. In America, it used to be second in line, and now it ain't. Bad writing, bad camera work. And if anybody tries to tell me you can't keep judging them like that, yes, I can. You got to pay money for them. They should know better. And their network is not that strong in America. That's last. But this is just me. Peace.